At that time, the area was simply referred to as the Westmoreland Homesteads. And the Westmoreland Homestead program was primarily focusing on how could you create a quality of life for these unemployed coal miners in that area that would provide them with a decent house and with a piece of property that would allow them to do some gardening and a little bit of and some work that would allow them to have a improved standard of living, improved quality of life, and so this 1,500 acres was developed into a significant number of tracts of land. It was divided up into 4 different sections, and each of these sections included a mixture of 4-room houses, 5-room houses, and 6-room houses. And all of the people that eventually were drawn into this community, and many more people applied to live in these homes that were built than homes were available. But it was one of the aspects of the program that everyone who would be qualified to have the opportunity to live in one of these homes had to be a family unit. These subsistence homesteads were not for single people, and they were not for childless couples. They had to be a family, parents and children. And they would be drawn from many of the families that lived in the surrounding mining patches. And so over time, this rural area was turned into this sort of model village. And a local architect was hired to design the homes. They were sort of on the order of what frequently is referred to as a Cape Cod style cottage. They were very smart looking, that they were mixed, that there was not one section was simply 4 bedrooms and another that was 5 and another that was 6. The attempt was to mix family sizes in these 4 different sections of the community. All of the homes would have a finished, a dug basement. They would all have running water. They would all have bathrooms. They would have land for gardening. They would be provided with the original plantings for that gardening. They would be provided with gardening tools. They were provided with seeds. They were provided with a grape arbor. They were provided with fruit trees. They were given an opportunity to have a piece of land, usually on the average about an acre and a half of land per family, that they could do some gardening there to provide them with the foods that would last them through the winter and into the year. Usually they had a chicken coop. Each family was given I think it was 20 or 25 peeps to raise, so that they could have a flock of chickens on their land. They could have a garden plot. They would have fruit trees, as I said. The homesteaders who eventually would live in these homes were hired by the government to help build them. And so that the process not only provided folks eventually with homes, but it also provided them with jobs during a period of massive unemployment. And so many of the families who would live in these homes helped build their own home. And in the process, these miners were taught a variety of carpentry skills, of bricklaying skills, of skills in terms of altering the terrain of the land so that it would be more usable for gardening and divert the water flows in the land. The land was rather hilly, not mountainous, but rolling. And so the village took on over time took on a very smart appearance. The program provided everyone with the paint that they needed to use to paint their house. It could either be gray, white, or yellow, but the family itself, the government didn't paint the house, but it did provide the paint for that. The homes had central heating, which was something that probably was not found in any of the homes in the patch towns, and of course the fuel was coal. It wasn't natural gas heating, but every house had not only a basement, but a part of that basement was specifically set aside as a coal cellar, where coal could be stored to fuel the coal-fired furnace to provide the heat. At the time, the houses were decently insulated according to the standards of those days. They were equipped. Actually, Mrs. Roosevelt insisted that everyone that moved into one of these homes be also provided with a refrigerator and a washing machine. And homes were powered, of course, with electricity. And there were some people that said that this was a luxury that the government should not be providing. Mrs. Roosevelt differed actually from her husband and from some of the other folks that were involved in part in this process, because she felt that those were not necessarily luxuries, but they were, I'm talking now about the washing machine and the refrigerator, that they were appliances that would give the folks that had them a sense of being as good, that their home was as good as the homes in the nearby more established towns. And she felt that psychologically it was very important to provide these folks with those appliances. The result of this was that you had now, I think it was over 600 residential units in this village. And so out of this came probably what those of us who have read a lot about the New Deal, came this step of how could the economy experience some recovery. The creation of the jobs to build the homes and the creation of the homesteads themselves, these subsistence homes, helped provide an immediate degree of relief for the issues of unemployment and living below the poverty line. But what was necessary then was to provide ways to help this community recover and sustain itself, not only individually as individual families, but to sustain the whole community.